Welcome to Scary Bedtime Stories, where we delve into the world's most spine-chilling tales that will keep you awake long after the lights go out. Tonight, we uncover the unsettling case of the ghost in the basement, a true event that will send shivers down your spine. Are you ready to face the unknown? It was the summer of 1998 when the Callahan family moved into their old Victorian house in upstate New York. The house, grand yet eerie, stood alone at the end of a desolate road, surrounded by dense woods. Its towering presence loomed over the neighborhood, a relic of forgotten times. The intricate woodwork and stained glass windows hinted at a once glorious past, but an air of neglect and mystery hung over it. From the very first night, strange occurrences began to unfold. Faint whispers echoed through the halls, furniture shifted mysteriously, and an unsettling chill lingered in the air. The creaking of the wooden floor seemed to follow their every step, and distant laughter echoed when no one was around. The family dismissed these incidents as figments of their imagination, but deep down, they couldn't shake the feeling that they were not alone. But the true horror lay beneath their feet, in the basement. The basement door creaked ominously every time it was opened, as if warning them to stay away. The single hanging bulb flickered unpredictably, casting eerie shadows that seemed to dance along the walls. The musty scent of mildew and decay filled the air, making it difficult to breathe. Mrs. Callahan was the first to notice it. Every time she descended the creaky wooden stairs, an overwhelming sense of dread consumed her. The basement smelled of damp earth, and an inexplicable shadow would dart across the walls. The air was thick with unease, and she often felt a presence lurking in the darkness. She confided in her husband, but he brushed it off as stress from the move. One evening, as Mr. Callahan stored old boxes, he heard it, a soft, mournful wail emanating from the farthest corner. He froze, heart pounding, but when he shone his flashlight, nothing was there. Just darkness, endless and suffocating. He convinced himself it was his imagination, but deep down, he knew something was wrong. Over the next few weeks, the wailing became more frequent, and Mr. Callahan began avoiding the basement altogether. Their teenage daughter, Emily, was the next to experience it. While doing laundry, she felt a cold hand graze her shoulder. Spinning around, she saw no one, yet the weight of unseen eyes bore down on her. Clothes would go missing, only to reappear days later in odd places. The whispers grew louder, calling her name in the dead of night. Emily's grades began to suffer, and she became withdrawn, often staring at the basement door with a vacant expression. Determined to uncover the truth, the Callahans installed cameras in the basement. What they captured chilled them to the core. Shadowy figures flitting past, objects moving of their own accord, and a voice whispering Emily's name. Each recording revealed more unsettling footage, and their nights became filled with dread. The family could no longer ignore the truth. The basement was haunted. Desperate for answers, they reached out to a local historian. He revealed a grim past. The house once belonged to a reclusive man rumored to have dabbled in dark rituals. Some believed his spirit still lurked in the basement, trapped between worlds. The historian warned them that the house had a long history of unexplained disappearances and strange occurrences. The Callahans were horrified to learn that previous owners had fled under similarly mysterious circumstances. The occurrences grew more intense. Lights flickered violently, furniture toppled, and the voice grew louder, almost pleading. Shadows stretched unnaturally, creeping closer each night. The Callahans found themselves trapped in their own home, unable to escape the terror that surrounded them. Mrs. Callahan began having vivid nightmares, waking up drenched in sweat, convinced that something was watching her from the darkness. Mr. Callahan heard heavy footsteps pacing above their bedroom at night. Emily refused to enter the basement, her once fearless attitude replaced with a constant sense of fear. Even their dog, Max, refused to go near the basement door, growling and barking at seemingly nothing. The family could take no more. They fled the house, leaving everything behind. To this day, they refuse to speak of what happened inside those walls, haunted by memories that refuse to fade. Neighbors claimed they still saw lights in the basement, flickering late at night, and strange noises drifting through the air. To this day, no one dares enter. The new owners reported eerie occurrences, from cold drafts to objects moving on their own. Some say the spirit remains, waiting for the next unsuspecting victim. Even those who pass by the house late at night report seeing a shadowy figure staring out of the basement window. The legend of the ghost in the basement has grown, becoming a tale whispered among locals, a warning to those who dare to explore the unknown. Years later, paranormal investigators attempted to document the strange occurrences. They captured eerie voices on their recording devices and inexplicable temperature drops in the basement. One investigator claimed to have been pushed by an unseen force, leaving the team shaken and unwilling to return. The Callahans, now miles away, refused to speak of what happened, but their fear remains evident in their eyes, a constant reminder of the ghost in the basement. Friends who visit them often find them staring off into space, lost in the terrifying memories they cannot escape. Thank you for tuning in to Scary Bedtime Stories. Sleep tight and remember, sometimes the past never truly leaves. Keep the lights on tonight, and if you ever hear whispers in the dark, don't look back.